Titakba. A death has been described as a painful loss, bore with total submission to the will of God. Honorable Gundaru Lushola, who served as Special Assistant on Mobilization to the Governor and was assigned to the Office of the Community Communications, passed away after a brief illness. She died at the age of 54. The Lagos State Police Command has said no explosive device was found in two private schools located in the Ikeja government reserved area after a full security check of the premises. According to reports that the police said the alarm began around 4 p.m. on Tuesday, January 20, 2026, when the Human Resources Manager and the Chief Security Officer of the schools reported at the Ikeja Divisional Headquarters that they had received threatening WhatsApp messages from the same unknown phone number. The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon Amadi, has declined to set up a judicial panel to investigate Governor Siminalayi Fubara, citing a court order. The Rivers State House of Assembly had requested Amadi set up a 7-member panel to probe Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu over allegations of gross misconduct. However, in a letter dated January 20th and addressed to the Speaker of the House, Martin Samuel Willie, the Chief Judge cited 2 court orders barring him from receiving, forwarding, or considering any request to form such a panel. Security operatives on aerial surveillance have reportedly identified the location of the abducted Kumin Wale worshippers. The suspected bandits are said to be keeping the victims as human shields, a credible security source told today, Friday, on condition of an anonymity that in order to avoid collateral damage, it would be difficult for security agents to strike the bandits' camp. The source, who had been following the rescue operation since the incident last Sunday, stated that surveillance images have revealed the exact locations of the bandits. Meanwhile, the United States on Thursday urged the Nigerian government to intensify efforts towards protecting Christian community in the country. U.S. Undersecretary for Political Affairs Alison Oka, who made the call, said that while some progress has been made in recent months, recent attacks indicated that Nigeria must do more to guarantee the safety of Christians. The federal government has banned electricity distribution companies and installers from collecting any form of payment for meters, warning that the school officials and installers found extorting customers will be prosecuted. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, issued the warning on Thursday during an on-site inspection of newly imported smart meters at APM terminals at Apapa, Lagos. Adelabu said the meters were procured under the World Bank-funded Distribution Sector Recovery Program and must be installed for customers free of charge, stressing that any demand for money would be treated as an offense. Still on the federal government has confirmed that it has disbursed 152 billion naira to contractors, a verified contract. The payment, the federal government said, followed established verification procedures designed to safeguard public funds and maintain accountability in government spending. In a statement, the Federal Ministry of Finance said the payment process is guided by existing laws and regulations to ensure transparency and protect taxpayers' money. The National Judicial Council has recommended 14 candidates to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for appointment as judges of the Federal High Court. The announcement was contained in a statement issued by the NJC on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. The recommendation was made following the Council's 110th meeting held on January 13th and 14th, 2026. The House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating Nigerian's power sector reforms and expenditure from 2007 to 2024 has summoned the managing directors of Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company and Jos Electricity Distribution Company over their absence at a hearing to probe their operations on Thursday. Chairman of the House Committee, Honorable Al-Mustafa Aliyu, expressed strong dissatisfaction during the hearing, stressing that the absence of the DISCO's chief executives undermined the purpose of the investigation. In business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has affirmed that the collaboration between host communities of the Trans-Niger Pipeline and the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited has led to increase in oil production and contributing to greater revenue for the country. The head Field Operations Eastern Corridor Project Monitoring Office, Akbonime Omojevwe, made the affirmation at the first edition of the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited and OSCOM's monthly stakeholders engagement meeting for the year 2026 held in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, yesterday. Following up in the entertainment scene, Yeni Kuti, the eldest daughter of late Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti, has reacted to the ongoing online feud between her brother Seun and music superstar Wizkid. Recall that the dispute began last week after Seun Kuti accused Wizkid's fan base, popularly known as Wizkid FC, of disrespecting his father's legacy by comparing Fela to the Grammy Award-winning star. However, amid the ongoing controversy, Yeni Kuti, speaking on Thursday, said she refused to involve herself in the fight with Wizkid because the singer is a friend and she loves him a lot. And in the sport news, the Confederation of the African Football has fined the Algerian Football Federation $100,000 and handed suspensions to 2 players over misconduct following Algeria's quarter-final loss to Nigeria at the 2025 African Cup of Nations. The penalties relate to violent scenes that broke out after Nigeria's 2-0 victory on January 10th, when a confrontation involving players and officials erupted at the final whistle. CAF cited improper conduct by Algerian players, officials, and supporters, as well as security failures at the stadium. Meanwhile, Nigerian senior men's handball team, the Golden Arrows, continued the nation's impressive start to the 2026 sporting calendar with a hard-fought 25-23 victory over Algeria at the 27th African Men's Handball Nations Cup in Kigali, Rwanda. The Group A opener played at the Petit Stade marked Nigeria's second defeat of Algeria in just 2 weeks, following the Super Eagles' resounding 2-0 win over the North Africans at the quarter-final stage of the recently concluded 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. And finally, on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has filed a $5 billion Lawsuits against America's biggest bank, JP Morgan Chase, accusing it of illegally closing its account for political reasons. The lawsuit, which also names the bank's chief executive, Jamie Dimon, alleges that Trump and his businesses suffered considerable financial and reputational harm after the bank abruptly closed their account in 2021. And that's Ayaba Newsroom. Our light is edited by Compassion Adebayo. I am Moyosola Zubar. Thank you for listening.
Number 1. There is something magical about those two words. For you to be number one radio station, you've got to be number one in the reading book of your listener. The number one station they can rely on for up-to-date news, sport news, maximum entertainment.
If you turn it loud, I'm always there. I'm in your radio. I'm always there.
The only station they can depend on anywhere, anytime, for everything. Talk of these qualities, and that's us you're talking about, because we see and we know better. Ayoba 95.1 FM, your number one lifestyle radio.
Stay on the radio. I heard your mafia boy, stay on the radio. When I get down.